subscribe and hit the bell icon and never miss another video.
Her story is worth taking up all the pains that I took to learn this game from scratch.
How hard was that?
It was the hardest ever. I've never
Really?
picked up a bat in my life. You know, like films and cricket, sabko sab pata hai. I still don't know how to bowl. Her very close friends who were training me, who are girls who played in the Indian cricket team, who are presently the coach. We both want to strive towards achieving equality. I need to put a pause on this. After this, it's going to be a big break from sporty characters. How I was till now of the opinion that many female actors don't get an opportunity to portray these central roles or to just shoulder the films but no, it's not like that.
Hey, this is Miss Malini and I'm here with the absolutely stunning Taapsee. It's been ages.
It's been
are
ages.
you?
I'm very good. How have you been?
I'm very excited for your new film. I have to say, you have this connection with sporty characters, I feel, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
Tell me about this new character that you're playing, this biopic you're doing.
So it's Mithali's biopic. I play Mithali,
Yeah.
and who has been the torchbearer of change in the terms like how cricket is perceived as only gentleman's game and how
Yeah.
she changed it to people, shifting people's acknowledgement or notice towards the women's team. And I noticed her was when I actually saw this big statement that she made about how always women are asked about their favorite male cricketers but not the other way around.
That's true.
And from then onwards, I've been her fan of
Yeah.
the journey she has carved for herself and the change that she's made in the sport. So
Yeah.
her story is worth taking up all the pains that I took to learn this game from scratch.
How hard was that?
It was the hardest ever. I've never
Really?
picked up a bat in my life. Obviously, like all other Indians, we all have an opinion on cricket. ऐसे मारना चाहिए, वैसे मारना चाहिए, because you know, like films and cricket, सबको सब पता है. चाहे
correct.
films के लिए तुमने कभी
Yeah.
मतलब acting ना करी हो, कैमरा ना उठाया हो, but तुम्हें पता है कि कौन सी film को क्या करना चाहिए था. Same way with cricket,
Right.
So we all have an opinion on it. So that when these two worlds come together, the obviously fireworks are going to happen. So I'm glad that I had something like this in my filmography. I've been that person who's seen cricket but never played one.
Yeah.
Now onwards, I will never have an opinion on any cricketer, however that person is playing, because it's bloody difficult.
You know, I've always wondered, especially as actors, when you have to learn a sport for a role so quickly, how do they crash course? Like, आप इतनी जल्दी कैसे सीखते हो? That
So I'll
just
tell you
it
what.
looks real on screen.
I'll tell you how we
Yeah.
do it. So definitely you can't learn an entire sport in a limited period of time. You need to give it years, and obviously we don't have that liberty. So what you do is you prepare backwards. Like you start from the question paper. Like usually from question papers, you know what are the questions, you know what shots you want to play in the film, you just learn backwards. So now you only learn how much ever you really need to show in the film. So I still don't know how to bowl. Because for me, we had to show cricket in highlights.
Right.
To show her career, which is a long career to show. 23 years she played in ODI. So I have to show her journey of playing for 23 years. I can't show the entire match. So they were only highlights of her batting.
Right.
Or fielding. So I've only learned these two things. I've not learned how to bowl. So that's how you learn backwards.
Oh, that's really cool. I've always wondered about that. And did you get a chance to talk to her, sit down with her,
Of
get
course
to
I
know
did.
her?
I did a little bit, not too much during the filming actually,
Yeah.
because she was actively working at that time, and she was always either in bubble before a tournament because it was
Correct.
COVID times, and then she was playing, so she wasn't allowed to meet, and also she was prepping up for the World Cup that recently happened. So she was not allowed to physically meet anyone most of the time. So I didn't really have access to her, but I had access to people who played with her over years and her very close friends who were training me, who are girls who played in the Indian cricket team, who are presently the coach for different teams. They trained me. So I got knowledge about Mithali and her game through them.
And when you have to play someone, of course, like a real person and someone who's alive, that whole pressure is also like how much they're going to compare you to how she is and what her personality is.
That's inevitable,
That's inevitable.
And
So-
then, of course, on top of it, that person is playing cricket, which I said everybody has an opinion on. So there's no way I can avoid it. So yeah, here I am. Please get on with all the comments.
But I love it. I think it's amazing. I think it takes balls, of course, but I think you're going to do an amazing job. I'm excited to see it.
It takes a lot of balls.
It's-
It
yeah.
was a lot of balls thrown at me. Some did hurt as well, but yeah.
I was going to ask you, did you have any
Yeah, I had some injuries, yes. It did hit and it does hurt.
But they say a lot about, people who are, sports people and actors, it's a very passionate career choice, right? Even as an actor. And
you have to be really obsessed.
Obsessed, right? Did you find some similarities between you and her in any way? When you
Only at ideological level, not in terms of professional level, not even in terms of demeanor. It was just ideological level that we both want to strive towards achieving equality.
Right.
Just basic respect. Is what we both want to work for in our respective fields.
And when in terms of learning the sport, what did you find was the most unexpected thing that when you're actually out there playing the game? What was the
what
thing that
unexpected thing that ball comes really fast?
Yeah.
On the television, it doesn't look that fast.
Yeah.
In person, it is very fast.
You can imagine. What was the reaction of friends and family when you said you're doing this role?
Actually, my family is very is not too film obsessed family, so they were like, okay, you're gonna learn a new sport, but they know as a kid I've been inclined towards sports, so for them it was not so like surprising. Oh, how will you do it? They thought I'll pick it up, like I picked up a lot of sports, but I know this has been the hardest. This has really been the hardest because I've never got onto a cricket pitch before in my life.
But does this mean, do you feel like you have an affinity to films which are sporty and you're going to do more of these?
I have affinity towards sports background characters for sure.
Yeah.
And I think I need to put a pause to that now. It's been a little too much. I've almost forgotten that I'm an actor, not an athlete. So I need to put a pause on this. After this, it's going to be a big break from sporty characters.
Yeah, fair enough. And I'd love to know, from your perspective, you're doing so many things. You're also turned producer, which I think is so amazing. And how hard is it to juggle both those things at the same time?
Actually, I realized when I was shooting for Blur, which has been co-produced by me and I'm acting in it, that it is, though I have a partner who is hands-on, who handles the groundwork, Pranjal, but it's psychologically very difficult for me to switch on and off.
Yeah.
Between, okay, now I have to just be an actor, okay, now I have to be a producer. So I realize it's better that I do as minimum films as possible where I am the producer myself. But it's very heartwarming to produce one. The one that I produced, which is almost done now, Dhak Dhak, where there are 4 women on bike having this journey from Delhi to Leh. What an experience. Like, just for me to see those videos and pictures that they send at the end of every day, that this is what has happened, and to this, I get the call sheet, I get the output, whatever has been recorded, and it's so heartwarming to see. Like, it's like, you're part of bringing it all together.
Yeah.
So that's a very beautiful feeling. I'm looking forward to seeing the footage, and it's going to be every step that I've taken in this journey of being a producer has been an eye opener, and story is being told from a different narrative. Till now I was seeing it just as an actor.
Correct.
My vision has changed about how I see a film now as a producer.
So that's what I wanted to ask you. As a producer, what changes in your lens? Like, what, as a lot of people, they know, okay, director hai, producer hai, actor hai. What is your role as a producer? What do you have to do?
So your vision changes about how, like, as an actor, like, for example, I was telling someone a while back that how I was still now of the opinion that many female actors don't get an opportunity to portray these central roles or to just shoulder the films, and but no, it's not like that. There are ample of opportunities around. It's about your courage if you really want to take it up. Because when I take a film to someone and I get the reaction like they are not very comfortable shouldering a film, and they don't want to get into the risk zone. I was always very perplexed as to why people used to call me very brave and risk taker of doing certain, these films, women's stories, and I was like, why wouldn't anyone do it? It's just so obvious you would want to say those stories. But now when I've turned the producer and the tables have turned, I have realized that not everyone wants to do it. Everyone wants to play in that safety zone.
That the movie is going to be a hit if you're with certain people.
Because it will have a certain market, so let's play safe. So that is like one of a lot of other learnings, and this has been one of the learning.
And so what would you say? Taapsee the producer, Taapsee the actor, what comes more naturally?
As an actor, like I've seen myself much more as an actor. I'm still taking baby steps as a producer, so it's too new right now for me.
And I would love to know, for everyone who's watching especially, what is the takeaway from this film? And the thing, like you said, 2 of the things we love. There's film, there's cricket, so there's so much magic to be, absorbed from this. But it's a biopic about a female cricketer, which is amazing. You don't see those. So what is the takeaway from this film?
Actually, one biggest takeaway for me from her journey, Mithali's journey, was that you don't really need to have a precedence of any sort if you want to take a path that's less traveled. So just not to get scared because you don't have enough benchmarks set by someone. You have to make your own and probably be the first one. So that, and she consistently kept doing that from the highest scorer debutant when she was, which that record was recently broken by someone after like so many years, to now having, when she retired, she had the longest spanning ODI career in the world across genders. So she never shied away from creating a certain record, thinking, why to get into that zone? It's just like, it's scary. She kept going on. So that was my biggest takeaway from her journey.
Incredible. Awesome. Super excited to watch this. And a message to everyone who's going to go out to the cinema to catch this film?
I think if you love films, if you love cricket, and if you want to see this time a woman in blue, know their journey, know their story, I think it will be quite a watch. So watch it on 15th of July.
Don't miss it.